Controls creator Kevin Eastman is here to join us in a rousing chorus of Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go! Woo! Plus, we have more from the land of wooden shoes, like XO5 press conferences. I know, I can't believe it either. And we have a live demo of Virtua Tennis for the PlayStation Portable. It's a game you're sure to love. All right, excuse me, Mr. Perfect Tennis Pun. Now set it and forget it. It's Attack of the Show!
Pick up on this.
You're gonna watch us in 3D
Whoa,
today?
You're in 3D!
No, I'm just red and blue.
I just found these on the set.
See, I'm actually in 3D all the time. That's how life works.
Big stuff going on today, Sarah Lane. XO5 conference is going on.
Woo!
I said we'd be there, Amsterdam.
Yeah, talked to Jeff Keighley yesterday over at the party.
Yes.
Hanging out.
Yep.
Lots of things
having a good time. He was up at 1 in the morning. But most importantly, all the good trailers are coming out, and we have one that I think is an exclusive. I'm pretty sure it's for the game Crackdown. Looks good. I've already watched it like 16 times. It's coming up later in the show.
I watched it 17 times. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's one louder, or one more, or one whatever.
It's one more than you.
Jeff Keighley's interview with Peter Moore, by the way, is also coming up. He says some really good stuff about the PlayStation 3. So
Jeff does, or Peter does?
Peter does.
Oh, okay.
Jeff makes Peter say interesting things.
Jeff prompts Peter to say something positive.
He actually uses a mind trick.
Really?
He puts the words into his mouth. It's crazy.
Literally puts them in?
Jeff Keighley's good. Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to see that.
And then force chokes him. Speaking of force choking, Brendan Moran!
Looks like Brendan has picked up a little video gaming.
I'm playing a little Virtua Tennis. It's a bit frustrating at first.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm losing.
Yeah.
In women's tennis.
Very nice.
It's a lot of fun though. I think we're gonna see. God.
Yeah. Stop.
I'm sorry.
You can't.
Go. Do your thing.
Thanks, Brendan.
It's always hard to do a show and
play games.
It is.
Yeah.
So thankfully we didn't give him anything important today.
Brendan, best of luck.
Just hang out there, buddy.
Best of luck.
Sweat.
Hope you win the match.
Do you notice?
Booyah!
Do you see what's going on the monitor here? Do you notice that's a little webcam action?
Hey, look at me!
Look at that.
It's my back.
No, yeah, it is, and it's the webcam live motion. You good?
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's got face tracking. It can't do the back of the little lion's mane. But look at the camera. Move your head around a bit, and it'll actually track your motion. The lights in the camera throw it off a little bit, unfortunately. But are you all right?
Yeah, good. It's just fine.
Let me turn it on. Face tracking. There's continuous, which will automatically kind of track. See how you're moving around and it's tracking you. It's got a super wide 200-degree horizontal view, 105-degree vertical. So it's a little fisheye there, and it'll track multiple people. So you can see now it's going to try and zoom out and get both of us in the. Hey, all right, we look close enough on the monitor.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Like
about $150 seems to do the job. But what I really like about it is that not only do you have the manual controls, but you can do a one-touch panoramic photo. So watch, I'll just I'll click the little snap photo, stand still. It'll go to start. There's Brendan on the couch losing at women's tennis. There's the side of my head. There's a camera, and there's Sarah, and there's really nothing going on behind Sarah or in her head. We double click. Boom! Look at that!
That's pretty cool.
Instant panoramic photo does it for you, perfectly stitched.
That's pretty
very nice. Look, and even though Brendan was waving, no distortion.
That's great. I love it.
Sweet little camera, $150.
$150, I'd buy it.
It looks good.
The camera at my desk sucks compared to this thing.
Well,
maybe
I
can upgrade.
You can.
Another very interesting thing, television sometimes fails to surprise us anymore. It's just like another show, blah, blah,
I'm pretty much used to it by this point.
Exactly. Last night, though, it's kind of interesting. HD viewers of that new sitcom, My Name is Earl.
Yes.
You know the one?
Yes.
You've seen the billboards like, I robbed somebody, I'm sorry.
It says, hey, my name's Earl, and it's got a picture of Earl on it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, HD viewers of this show, My Name is Earl, were included in on a little, you can call it sort of an Easter egg, because in the show, Earl's brother holds up a sign that reads, High Def Rocks, but you could only see it because on the edge of the frame if you are watching the show in HD.
Look at that.
So everybody who didn't have HD just never saw it. It was just a little inside joke that nobody
there
got.
it is. HDbeat.com picked up on it. There's the high def shot. Clearly you can read the sign. Scroll on down in standard def.
Isn't that great?
Not so much. A blurry mass.
I love it.
I'm so glad they don't do this show in HD, though.
Oh, this show?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Please.
mountains of
Producers
airbrushing.
of ours never ever do that. Yeah, no. Ooh, bad,
it's like a landmine.
bad.
Actually,
I'm 57, and everybody would finally know it.
we do have an HD feed for international, so if you're international and you can see that, go ahead and decode the little message. There you go. Standard def, not going to apply, so if you're a North American viewer, going to have to link up with somebody in another...
Wow. Well, you know,
It's pretty good.
I must have HD eyes, Kevin. 'Cause
What?
I can read that.
You can actually read it? Did I not blur it off in Photoshop?
Well, I mean, come on. It's like, I know your mind. Sarah is A, starts with an S, ends with a K. What do you think?
Oh, wow. It actually shows up a lot better on the camera. No, in person, it's... all right.
Okay, I hope you're happy.
Sorry.
I'm going to go home and cry myself to
I
sleep.
just thought I'd make a little blur job
under
in
a mountain
Photoshop.
of Jack Daniels and,
And
and
Haagen-Dazs
chocolate. Yeah.
Very nice.
So, great.
All right. Today, one of our guests is none other than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creator Kevin Eastman.
Loved those movies.
Oh, so good.
Seriously.
I'm going to talk his ear off.
I liked Raphael the best.
Oh, really? His weapon was the weakest.
But he was such an underdog. I liked him the best.
What, because he was the rebel?
It was kind of like nobody else liked Raphael. So I did.
Whatever. Call. Ask him about Renaissance artists, Heavy Metal Magazine, or his hot wife. Either way. Number is 800-839-7880.
You can, of course, email us also through our web form at attackoftheshow.com/askus. And you can chat with us during the show at chat.g4tv.com.
And if we take your call, hey, we've got T-shirts. They're from Jinx.
Jinx,
and we're going to send them to you. Check that one out.
Which one does it say?
This
Jinx,
is a modding
service. We void warranties.
That's what they do. When the voices in my head tell me it's safe to show my face again, we'll sit Kevin Eastman down and give him a stern talking to. But first, we talked about this game a little bit yesterday. We had the trailer linked on our website, but you really need to see the full screen version of it. It's amazing. It's BioWare's new sci-fi RPG, Mass Effect, and it drips with goodness.
Ooh, drips.
Kevin Eastman took a head-scratching concept, talking turtles that know ninjutsu, and turned it into a phenomenon. He's also the owner of Heavy Metal Magazine, so, you know, he's pretty much a comic book icon, and now he's on the old Attack of the Couch. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us sit. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Heavy Metal Magazine, for many of us, it's kind of like, pornography training wheels. For me, it's kind of like an introduction into that whole realm, but there's so much more. I'm told there's comics in there as well.
Yes.
What is that? Tell me about your history with Heavy Metal Magazine.
No, it's so funny because I was a huge fan of the magazine. I bought the first issue of the magazine off the newsstands in 1977. It was the same thing. I was a fan of, like, you know, Spider-Man, Sergeant Rock, Daredevil, all those things. And then about the time that I was starting to grow out of, you know, those comics because they felt kind of adolescent, here came Heavy Metal. And, you know, I had comics with breasts. And, but once you get beyond...
Thank you for that, by the way. No, but
beyond that,
it's
like,
so much more than that.
It really is. It's like the stories, I think, are very intellectual. They're very, you know, science fiction based. You know, years ago when the Comics Code Authority really kind of squashed what comics were here in the States, which is comics for kids, the Europeans really kind of excelled. They were inspired by what was done here in the U.S. and they kind of excelled. So I think they carried the medium much farther than we were able to here for a number of reasons. And I think that's why it's the staple that it is and as successful as it is.
I think it's interesting. You bought the first issue off of newsstands when it was out. Now, see, I bought a copy of DOS and a copy of Windows when I was younger at some point, but I never think of actually kicking Bill Gates out of the boardroom and taking over the Microsoft operation. But you are now in charge of Heavy Metal, right?
Well, fortunately, because, you know, my first creation, which actually was inspired, oddly enough, by Heavy Metal Magazine. A lot of the artists that I found in Heavy Metal Magazine from the early issues were self-publishers as well. And so what I found in Heavy Metal Magazine led me to sort of seek out these other artists and writers that self-publish their own work, which, you know, they could write the stories they wanted to, they could tell the stories they wanted to, no editorial control, that kind of thing, and no restrictions. And so the first comic I wanted to do was something that I published myself and could do it exactly the way I wanted to, which was the Turtles, which was successful, which oddly enough made enough money so I could actually buy Heavy Metal magazine back in 1991.
Right. Now, is the heavy metal of today the same heavy metal of years past? Is it still for, the underground or the self-published or the guys trying to break in, or has that changed?
No, actually, when I bought the magazine, what I loved about Heavy Metal magazine in the early days is what I tried to bring back to the magazine. I personally went and met with a lot of the publishers, because most of the material in Heavy Metal magazine is previously published material by French publishers, Spanish and Italian publishers. And so I met with all of them. I had them send me all the newest material they were doing by the youngest, hottest up-and-coming artists in Europe. And it's kind of cool. It's like the same artists that inspired us in American comics were also inspiring these new, whole generation of artists in Europe. And so the material that now is being published in Europe was inspired by these guys, which now I'm publishing, which is the stuff that inspired me.
Right.
So I picked the material that I like, and I hope that the fans like it as well. And
I think they do. I think there's a couple people out there that really appreciate what you're doing.
It's been great, actually. When I bought the magazine, it was doing about 60,000 copies in circulation. We're up to about 200,000 copies in circulation now.
Congratulations.
It was 4 issues a year when I bought it in 1991. It's now 9 issues a year, and we've expanded into hardcover books and graphic novels and those kinds of things.
And tomorrow the world. Or maybe not. Maybe
at the very least.
That's a little ambitious.
Yeah. Movies, theme park, everything.
Got to switch gears and talk about the Turtles, because seriously, first of all, my prepubescent years going into adolescence, thank you for April O'Neil. We'll leave that at that. But I want to talk about, it's been 20 years, over 20 years for these Turtles. Tell me about the progression of them and where you see them going from here.
Well, what's interesting is, that the Turtles started as an inspiration of my love of comics. Since I read my first comic book when I was like 7 years old, that's all I wanted to do for a living. And, fortunately, I was one of the very, very, very lucky few that the first issue I did was the Turtles, with my partner Peter Laird, as a co-creator of the Turtles. And we self-published it and had a success. And,
and not a lot of people self-publishing and actually getting success around that time, right?
No, not at all. It was like there was only a couple other comics at that time that were actually inspirational to us. One was Dave Sims' Cerebus. The other one was a comic by Wendy and Richard Pini called ElfQuest. And, the self-publishing market had been undergrounds before, and it was now sort of reaching a new kind of mainstream level. And, we published it as a joke. The first issue we published 3,000 copies. That was it. We had a $500 income tax return that I had. I borrowed $1,000 from an uncle. We cleared out Pete's bank account of $200.
But literally a joke that blossomed into an empire.
Totally, it was a joke.
Because we're trying to repeat that success with Attack of the Show, but people still haven't gotten the joke, apparently. So
cool.
we're hanging in there.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
But it did. It started as a joke, and we really combined, if you think, Teenage Mutants, which were, the X-Men, and that's my cell phone beeping.
Right.
Excuse me. We combined, the X-Men, the New Mutants comics that we're doing, animal characters, which are always popular, ninjas, from Bruce Lee.
Well, and now a new movie though, too, right?
Yes, we've done 300 cartoon episodes, 26 live-action episodes, 3 live-action movies, and now about 2.5 years ago we relaunched the Turtles when kind of nostalgia became popular again, and it became again a very successful kids show, which is, to me, it's like it was a big enough a compliment the first time around when the Turtles came up and were successful.
Sure.
And the fact that they've come around a second time and found a whole new audience of kids, that to me is beyond phenomenal. And so we signed a deal with Warner Brothers, and we're doing a new live-action, a new CG Turtles.
CG live-action mashup mix of all sorts of media.
we wanted to do a live-action with CG characters, which was the original desire, but it's we drifted towards it's going to be a full CG animated movie.
Oh, congrats! And what's up next for you here? What's this bad boy hanging out?
This is actually very exciting. It's one of the out of Heavy Metal magazine, we do a number of purchased properties plus original stuff, and this is something I created with a British artist named Simon Bisley, and it's called Fistful of Blood, which is inspired by the original movie by Akira Kurosawa called Yojimbo, which then was remade by Sergio Leone into Fistful of Dollars, which then was remade by Walter Hill called Last Man Standing. And I've taken this concept, which I loved as a movie as a kid, and rewrote it heavy metal style, where the lead samurai actor character is a female, large-breasted, big guns.
Of course. Say no more. Say no more. You just sold another 500 copies of it out there.
And she goes into this town, and there's sort of there's vampires on one. There's 2 gangs. There's vampires on one side of the town, zombies on the other, and a family trapped in the middle. And sort of she helps take care of business.
Very nice.
Heavy metal style.
Kevin, congrats on all the success.
Thanks
and I know
very
you
much.
have many more years left. Thank you again for joining us on the couch. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Be sure to check out Heavy Metal on the web at heavymetal.com. And for more info, check out our show notes. You know the website. Now, don't run off. We have more Amsterdam Nation directly from the XO5 conference coming up next. That, my friends, was some next-gen Call of Duty 2 action, and we're going to have even more XO5 trailers throughout the show, including, that may very well be an exclusive, honestly, folks, a trailer for Crackdown, the new Xbox 360 game from GTA creator David Jones. Now, all week long, we've been telling you that Microsoft is using the XO5 conference as a convenient one-stop shop where developers and journalists and game freaks can kick the tires of the Xbox 360. And while they have everyone's undivided attention, turns out they're making some really big press conference announcements. In fact, G4's Jeff Keighley had his ear to the floor.
Now, as we stand here on the very cusp of launch, it is my sincere opinion that we have the best games lineup ever in the history of video games. As it currently stands, the PDZ, Cameo, Project Gotham Racing 3 will all be there and launched.
What are we looking at in terms of, third parties, lots of support there? How many launch titles are you looking at now? I mean, is it 8 to 10, more than 10, or?
Right now, I think there are probably as many as 15 to 18 candidates that could be there day one.
Do you really think this is the best launch lineup ever?
I think customers are going to have to be the judge of that, but I look at the quality of the first-party titles that we've gotten and the tremendous third-party support.
Gears of War spanked us hard and good. Thank you, Epic. May we have another.
The game that I'm designing, I see it on the 360, I see it running in high res, I see it with all of the depth of field effects, I see it with the motion blur, and I get excited.
You guys made a big announcement today about the first id game that you guys are designing, specifically for a console, going to be for the 360.
It is going to be the next chapter in the Wolfenstein universe, and of course we're super stoked to be able to talk about it here at XO5 and to announce that, for the first time ever, that we're focusing on a console as a primary development platform for an id Software game.
You stirred up a little controversy today as you were talking about, you're talking a little bit about Sony, talking some smack about Sony, about how they're just showing videos.
Video's video, and I think that certainly other companies in a different state for us have a little bit more license to show video, but it should never be compared to real gameplay.
If it does turn out that all the studios end up supporting Blu-ray, not HD DVD, you guys are going to ship a Blu-ray add-on drive for 360?
Well, I think we're still a long way from figuring out where the format wars are about to go. Even if Blu-ray or HD DVD ships, they're $1,000. They're not mass-market devices.
PS3's not going to be $1,000, is it?
I don't know.
What are you saying?
Ask the guy that was talking about Xbox 1.5. His call.
You think it cost $1,000 to get a PS3?
And as it currently stands today, a Blu-ray DVD player, if you had the laser that you could do and the drives that were available, that's about $1,000 to the consumer.
Is Kutaragi going to eat crow here about this Xbox 1.5 comment now then?
You know, the interesting thing, Jeff, is I haven't heard that replicated since whenever that was, E3 time period. I think that certainly the 1,200 people that are here in Amsterdam this evening that got to see the real power of next generation gaming understand that it truly is a leap from where we're currently at in this generation.
Wow, Jeff Keighley putting them on the old Foreman, giving him a little grilling. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll head back to XO5 to find out which 360 games will be on our must-have list and which ones will be fashioning into throwing stars and hucking at our neighbors. And again, stay tuned for a first look at Crackdown later in the show. Yes, that's right, the show will go on. Nay, it must go on! Because we haven't done the feed yet, and we kind of have to do that. Plus, we have some Frugality deals that will knock your teeth right down your throat. But first, Dennis Dyack has had the idea for Too Human festering in his brain like a fever dream for years, and now, with the power of the 360 at his disposal, he's finally unleashing it. Here's a look at Too Human. Welcome back to the show. If your buddy's telling you you missed everything, don't believe him. No, there's still plenty left, like a demo of Virtua Tennis for the PlayStation Portable and more game trailers from the XO5 conference, including never-before-seen footage from Crackdown. Plus, don't forget, this week's Boost Mobile Live Band is...
Versus the World, Kevin.
Now, you can window shop like an old woman, or you can acquire objects with precision using Frugality.
Frugality.
It's funny.
Frugality.
It's pretty sweet, right?
That's awesome.
People don't know that. You actually do sound effects work, the Foley work for Kung Fu movies.
Well, I do the whole network.
Watch, let me get to watch. Okay, it was a little, there was a little delayed. Okay. A little bit of a delay there.
Any good.
We got latency issues.
Let's get to this.
Frugality, boom! Half-Life 2 Collector's Edition, normally $79.99. That's not what you're going to pay today, my friend.
What are you going to pay, Kevin?
Amazon, via GameStop, via whoever else owns whoever else these days. $39.99. That comes with Counter-Strike Source, which is pretty much free anyways. Half-Life Source, Half-Life 2 Prima Book, but that's just the game. It includes a free limited edition T-shirt, extra large.
Which is probably worth the $39.99 anyway.
Exactly. They know their target demo.
Extra large.
Extra large. And
thick in the neck.
It's worth it. Plus a DVD-ROM version of Half-Life 2, so there you go. It's pretty good.
Pretty frugal.
If you don't have Half-Life 2 right now, by the way, like, you don't deserve it. So actually, never mind this deal.
They're probably not watching the show anyway.
Moving along, exactly. They're probably playing it if they have it. JVC Averio, or Averio. It's the GZMC 200, 2-megapixel, 4-gigabyte hard disk recorder camcorder.
Fits in the palm of your hand, Kevin.
If you're a giant.
No.
Oh,
very small.
It is. We had it on the show, I think, actually.
Fist, yeah.
It's not bad. 2 of them.
Yeah.
Normally, $1,300, not today, $799. Again, the big deal here is it's a microdrive camcorder. It's
no
not like,
tape.
Exactly, no tape. It's a mini hard drive.
You can just keep swapping them in and out.
That's all you have to do.
Good for vacations and trips to Disneyland.
And there it is. There's a picture of it. Look at it. Oh, wait, you're right.
I told you.
Hold on.
There's
about the size of a fist.
That's what the PR literature said.
There you have it. Finally, big one here. The Intuition Razor. Normally $859. Just fill out a form. It's free.
What is that, Kevin?
That is a woman's shaver. Brendan.
Is that electric or is
it's I think it might be electric. Look,
is it shower safe? I guess is what I'm asking.
She needs it. Your mom,
They all
your
need it.
sister, the woman.
Yeah.
Trim them up.
You know,
it's better.
Right on the side, below like the cheekbones, and
Below
the jowls
everything.
here,
Seriously,
you know
it's for aerodynamics and safety's sake.
Maybe
just
one of these.
shave them up.
You know,
looking a little woolly. For all of these frugalities, you can find the links in our show notes at attackoftheshow.com.
Now, it's just arrived via private jet from Monte Carlo.
It's the feed.
Oh.
With the smoke still settling from the releases of both the iPod Nano and the iTunes Rocker phone, you'd think Apple would take a breather and just pat themselves on the back for successfully duping America into buying, essentially, 6 different versions of the same product. But no! An invitation sent out to tech journalists, which carried the cryptic quote, "One more thing," has them all abuzz about what Apple's unveiling this time. The consensus is that it's the long-rumored iPod video player. Now, Jobs has publicly stated already that he thought a video iPod wasn't practical and wouldn't catch on. But insiders don't think this would stop him from releasing one. Competing rumors claim the announcement is not about the video iPod, but rather the event will introduce a new Apple PowerBook. Either way, practice the phrase, "I refuse to buy another Apple," because, you know, you're going to run out and buy one anyway, so might as well talk yourself out of it. Now, the Safe Games Illinois Act, which made it illegal to sell violent or sexually explicit games to minors, is winning support among, shockingly, Republicans. Oklahoma Representative Fred Morgan told a local Tulsa TV station that he's going to push for a similar bill for his home state. Morgan claims he was alerted to the problems of violent and explicit games during the Grand Theft Auto hot coffee controversy and said, quote, "The research shows that parents don't know what's in these games." Now, we're not sure what research he's quoting, but our own team discovered that not only do parents not know what's in games, 90% of them don't think their kids are ever going to get anywhere with these games. All right, that's our last Westwood College joke, I promise. Call Pete if we beat that horse again. Now, those inquisitive folk at theregister.com are floating a theory regarding hackers that's, well, it's pretty damn terrifying, actually. They seem to think that hackers may actually be werewolves. Now, consider the evidence. A recent attack on space.com occurred just hours before a lunar eclipse. Security experts always refer to hacker defense techniques as silver bullet solutions. And many hackers have uncontrollable body hair. That's right. Where nerds are roaming the countryside, howling at firewalls. Pennsylvania State University professors are warning of a possible text message attack on cell phones. So to be sure, carry Jolt Cola, blessed by a priest, is the only defense. And finally, millionaire Gregory Olson, who paid $20 million for a trip to the International Space Station, is currently in orbit and claims the trip has been worth every penny he paid. He's about halfway through the scheduled 10-day trip, and he just recently made contact to describe the journey. And I think we have a recording of Olson's statement. Can we bring that up?
I'm on! Go, give me another Smirnoff! Babe, tell him on. Tell him to get... No, forget it. Okay. Woo! Welcome to mother space! Ow!
Aww. There you have it, another giant leap for mankind. It's a wonderful thing. That's the feed. Party on.
Yeah,
everybody.
Party on.
Party on.
Here on Planet Earth. All right, I rambled on and on about heavy metal and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but now we're going to give our audience that chance.
Cool.
So, Kevin, thank you for blessing them with your presence. Here we go. Louie joins us on the phone. Are you there, Louie?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, you psyched, Lou?
Oh, I am super psyched.
Let's hear it. Give me a woo! Woo! Yes, look at that. That's great. He's like on the space station. You got a question?
Yes. First off, let me just say, Kevin Eastman, thank you for my childhood.
There you have it. Thank you. Are you how many illegitimate children do you have?
Well, counting him, that's quite a few. Yeah.
A lot of fingers.
Okay, and let me start off by following the trend and say, what do you think of the Xbox 360?
Oh yeah, any thoughts on the Xbox 360?
Wait, no.
Oh, okay,
it's a joke.
Good.
It's a joke.
What's your question, Lou? Let's hear it.
My question is, what do you think about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the arcade game that came out for regular Nintendo, and the other pretty much the entire franchise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games that they've had, but mainly the arcade game for regular Nintendo.
Well, what's interesting is when I grew up, I was playing, Asteroids and Space Invaders and those kinds of things. And so when the Turtle franchise kind of grew and blossomed, we worked with Konami, Nintendo, and that stuff, and they did the original games. And as far as I know, that was one of the first 4-person player games for the arcade game. And it was a trip. It's weird enough to see characters you create in 2D, to see them on a TV series or in a movie and that kind of stuff, but actually be able to manipulate them on a video game.
At the local Pizza Hut playing the game. That's a pretty big deal.
That was great, yeah. But I love the original. I think the Turtles had a 4-person game, and X-Men did a 4-person game.
X-Men had one as well, yeah.
And it was a hoot. Still have one in my studio.
Oh, sweet, sweet. All right, Aaron joins us on the phone from Jacksonville, Florida. Are you there, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you psyched as well, Aaron?
Yeah!
There we go. Look at that. They're coming out of the woodworks, foaming. Aaron, what's up? You have a question?
Yeah, when you originally had the idea for the Ninja Turtles, did you originally think it was going to be the Turtles, or did you have an idea for another animal?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Chinchillas?
Frogs? Guppies? No. Honestly, no, because it was the weirdness of the idea came from the fact that I was a huge Bruce Lee fan, and so when I sort of made the joke of a Ninja Turtle, I sort of combined what Bruce Lee would be if you put in the most goofiest animal in the world, and I picked a turtle. It was like, I grew up in the state of Maine, and we played with turtles. We had painted turtles, snapping turtles, and all that stuff, so it just seemed like a natural combination of silliness. Was Bruce Lee meets a turtle.
Turtles from the beginning. Apparently the right choice, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Kevin, thanks again for coming on. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
When the show returns from nap time, we'll try to fight through the grogginess long enough to criticize your user-createds.
The Feed is brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life.
Tomorrow is our Verizon broadband battle. I know! Man, where does the time go? It seems like just yesterday it was Tuesday.
It was.
I know. We're playing Battlefield 2 again, so get back into that whole crashing helicopters and aircraft carriers mindset, because that's good TV. To register, just go to our little website and click on Join Our LAN Party. That's where you'll get all the details and the links to get started. And we'll see you tomorrow for the LAN Party.
All right, now adjust your mizzen mast and load the cannons. Here comes the good ship user created. Kevin, in ancient times, a council of elders issued a call to their tribe asking for Attack of the Show themed pins.
I recall that.
Yeah.
Using smoke signals.
Yes, and
opium.
And what's that thing where you tap a lot? Morse code.
Yes. You did not just ask that. What's the tapping one?
Oh, right.
No,
Morse code.
yes.
What's another name for the Netherlands? Oh, right.
The Dutch.
Yeah. Okay, so first up, this is our user created. Obviously, you were the ones who answered our call. Thank you very much. We've got David Johnson's design. He proves he paid attention to the school teacher in our last tale from the Prelinger archive. And thank you, Eric, for letting us say jerk ass again. Say it, Kevin.
Jerk ass.
Feels good. Jerk ass. Jerk ass. Hot jerk ass.
Whoa. Whoa. That was, there was a line, and you clearly stepped over it.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Moving on, Tyler Fleming gives us a great design for elite hosts. Made even more special because we can wear them, only us.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and the 3,000 people that have been a guest host, I guess, too.
I mean, I guess they could, but they'd be liars.
True.
You can't just be elite because you want to be.
Right.
You
have to do the spelling with the numbers.
You got to do the spelling with the numbers and say things like TH whatever.
And pwned.
I pwned you, Kevin.
Pwned. I see. I'm not late.
Pwned. God, you.
John Dink. What did he send in, Sarah?
Pen. John Dink sent us a collection of pins, including the great "Feed Me" and the very catchy sounding "TGI DVDs Day."
I like this button came from eBay.
Yeah, there's some other segments were represented as well.
All right. Let's just gloss over those.
Eric Cash. I love your eBay segments.
I know you do. I know you do.
Even more than you.
It's not coming back next week, by the way.
Eric Cash sends out what?
It's not. I'm telling. Right now, I'm saying it. It's not happening.
You don't have that kind of power.
Hey, look, a megaphone button, Sarah.
All right. Eric Cash sent us a very striking megaphone pin design. It's nice. It's simple. It wins extra cool points because you have had to watch the show to get it.
Right.
You know?
Before it gets out.
So it's good one.
That's a little promo humor.
It's a hipster pin if we ever saw one.
What was this week's winning design, Sarah?
This week's winning design comes from Rex Beasley.
Nice name.
Now, I know I like this
come
one
on.
because it's got my picture on it, but I'm not really sure what it's getting at. Hey Lush?
Hey, Lush.
Not Lush?
You put the Lush
Hot
in
Lush?
number one Lush. You put the Lush in Luscious.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're sweet.
No, I mean that's what the button said. I don't believe that. It's just that what was written on the guy's graphic.
Yeah. Thirsty.
Thanks to everyone who submitted,
I'm
though.
thirsty.
It's a big deal. Hey, we're going from the messenger bag straight to something every thrifty student has, and I know you have one on your desk as well. It's a lunchbox.
Of course, lunchboxes are cool.
Cool.
Whatever. Want to see your designs for a classic tin Attack of the Show lunchbox? That's right. Going old school.
Woo.
Going back. Way back.
Way back.
Show us what one would have looked like back in their heyday or on today's comic book store shelves.
I used to have one of those thermal bags.
Ew,
I was a
that's
dork.
so nerdy.
Seriously.
How embarrassing. Now, design away to your heart's content. Send them in as soon as you can. Something like this.
Good luck. Have fun. Handles are optional.
Have a great time.
We'll take a look at the winning entries next week, and then we'll make fun of them.
Now, honestly, your PSP comes across as a little crass, a little uncultured. Perhaps a spot of Virtua Tennis will class it up some. Huh, Kevin?
Perhaps.
We'll find out next.
We will?
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
User Created is brought to you by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way.
On the next attack of the show, we talk to the guys behind the games that are making a splash at the XO5 conference. Plus, can you call violent free-for-alls parties? We can. When it's our weekly LAN party. And we sent Brendan to the Hard Liquor and Porn Festival because, honestly, he was going anyway. That's the next attack of the show here before you know it. Ignore the parade of Russian supermodels they call real tennis and load up your PSP with a little Virtua Tennis, huh? Here to serve it up is game producer Marty Kaplan. Marty, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
You brought a guest with you over there on the couch. We've got my own buddy there, Justin Keeling, playing. What's up, Justin? And who'd you bring with you there?
That's Brett Blount from Sega.
Brett Blount. All right, so he's from Sega. I'm assuming he's familiar with the game.
Oh, yeah, he's going to go ahead and kick ass on your friend there. Yeah.
All right, they're selecting their characters. I see that now, which is good. We're playing women's tennis, which is very apt with Justin on the couch. I'm going to get $5 on Justin. Let's just do it. Are you in? Takers?
Yeah.
We're not doing odds. We're just.
I'll take you on there.
All right. So we got the Virtua Tennis for the PSP. My single favorite sports game ever on the Dreamcast. I love the Virtua Tennis. Tell me it's more of the same and better.
Oh, it is definitely more of the same and
Thank
better.
you.
We got the good Sega love for you, definitely. We have
Appreciate
all
it.
kinds of we have the World Tour, about the old school stuff where you're running around, you got mini games, you're developing your skills,
right?
And you can hop into all kinds of exhibition and tournament modes that let you play all these licensed, real folks.
I'm assuming you can still, create a character and then take them on the tour. Anything change with that?
That's pretty much the same, and you get to practice, so you can get to the multiplayer mode, which is really the hot action.
Very nice. I know we're going to get there. That's what they're playing right now. We're seeing split screen. This is Wi-Fi multiplayer on the PSP, up to 4 players, correct?
Up to 4 player.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And I'm looking at the screens. We're seeing both at the same time. They look pretty darn matched. I mean, was that a challenge for you guys to really get the sync down?
Yeah, well, we know you guys saw it a little earlier, and we put the whip to sumo, and they really came through for us. They dogpiled their programmers on it, and now it's smooth as butter.
That's great. Now it's local Wi-Fi play only, correct? Not internet connectivity.
Right.
All right. That's my little sad face, but we'll move on. I'm glad you fixed the lag issues. That's a big deal there.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of these mini games here. What do we get to?
Well, there's all kinds of really fun mini games, definitely inspired from the Dreamcast version. You got Attack of the Robots, and you're hitting them and making them fall down, or doing things like doing footwork around flags as huge things get launched at you. The old school, hitting the targets as they go across. The old shooting gallery. But just all kinds of goodness like that.
So they're all in there. And 3 modes of play. We got the World Tour.
Yep.
Exhibition, of course.
Yep.
Now, the AI is a big thing, because I remember the first Virtua Tennis, you put it on very hard. Once I learned their nuances, don't get me wrong, they were no match for me. But,
of course.
But I do recall the AI being a particularly tough challenge. So if you don't have a friend or you can't afford one, is it worth even getting it for the single player? Tell me the AI is intact on this one.
The AI is totally intact, and furthermore, it's based on the actual play styles of the characters. The power of the PSP is letting us really get deep into things and have them have behaviors. They react to you. They do things. You have Federer, who's more of a volleyer.
Right.
You got Andy Roddick, who's more of like power guy.
So even on the AI side, they'll play with the character the way they're supposed to. Very nice to hear. Now a little off topic, and I know there's still game in there, and I want them to. I gotta ask, this firmware thing is driving me nuts. So Virtua Tennis, is it going to make me upgrade my firmware or downgrade or reorder or what? I mean, how does that work? Do you have any say in that as a developer? Or?
Well, we definitely we do have a say, and for us at Sega, we really encourage creativity all around. So for us, this one you have to upgrade to 1.52. Okay. You don't have to go to 1.0 or 2.0. Sorry, excuse me.
So not that you lose any features by going to 2.0, of course, but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
All right, it's good to hear. So how's the game going over there? Who's winning? Show of hands?
It's my $5.
I owe you $5.
All right.
Fair enough. Marty, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Honestly, Virtua Tennis is near and dear to my heart. We've burnt out many a Dreamcast in the lobby, so I can't wait. It's the first must-have for the PSP.
Definitely.
In my opinion.
Definitely.
Sorry, folks. Virtua Tennis, it ships tomorrow. Go buy it. Seriously. And you can think about leaving, but I'd seriously consider not acting on it, especially when we have chat questions on the way. But before we get into all that jazz, here it is, the long-awaited game from David Jones, who was the deviant mind, really, behind the GTA series. Very little has been seen from this game until now. Get ready, feast your eyes, set your TiVos. It's time to toss some dumpsters. Here's Crackdown.
This was the scene today as the Guy JT house was bombed.
Police have found yet another human modification lab.
Let's go live to time tracking stolen vehicles as transportation.
Immigrants in the den have once again struck out.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the attack of the show, huh? I don't see the excitement. There it is. Yeah.
Chat room.
IRC chat time.
Chat room. I'm going to pretend I have a laptop here.
Okay.
I do actually. You just can't see it. Dave Foddy wants to know, which Ninja Turtle do the hosts like the most? Ooh. Well, you guys already know. I had a little thing for Raphael, and still do. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, the nunchucks.
Lame. No, that's.
He just had a sort of this air about him that was so sexy.
Wow, he was a turtle. You know that, right? Donatello.
Yeah.
Donatello, by the way, the best weapon in all the games. Great reach. Purple looked good on him. I'll be honest. Good turtle. It's a good turtle, Brennan.
I'm Leonardo, and let's just move on.
All right, done. Next question.
Incubeth wants to know, will we ever be able to have virtual reality in our home consoles? I don't know, man.
Yes.
Hopefully.
One of these days.
Why not?
Yeah, we will, sure.
Think big.
I have one at my place.
Reach for the stars.
Yours is really good. You really think you're there.
I've got a whole room.
It's good.
Devoted to virtual reality. It's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next question.
Rob Beef wants to know, what MP3 player would you recommend if storage space isn't an issue?
Oh, well, I like that little Moby Cube that we have if you're not worried about space. I mean, you got a gig there. I just got the iRiver, the 20 gigger. Like it. I like it. Don't love it.
I like
Don't
my
love
20
it.
gig. I mean, my iPod.
like it.
My 20 gig iPod is only half full, and I have everything in the whole world on it that I would need.
Awesome.
We have to end this.
You're awesome.
We're out of here. Stop it.
Thanks to our guests, Kevin Eastman, Marty Kaplan, Brett Blount, and Justin Keeling.
All right.
Goodbye.
Rock,
Good
scissors,
night.
paper? Rock, scissors, paper?
No, I'm not playing.
Oh!